What's up, guys? Okay, well, right now we're going to be in Boston. North Andover officer Kelsey Fitzsimmons. This is her right now, right here. And this is going to be a wild ride. So buckle up. I'm not going to give you any backstory because it's going to kind of lay it all out here in 6 minutes and 41 seconds. So maybe we'll be out of here in under 10. Also, I'd like to note 82% of people that watch these videos are not subscribed to the channel. Click the button, it's free. Alright, Boston, North Andover Officer Kelsey Fitzsimmons. That's where we're at right now.
Now for what is tipping the scales, it's a custody battle, assault case. Kelsey Fitzsimmons is the defendant. She appeared in court on Friday briefly for a hearing. The 29-year-old is charged with assault with a dangerous weapon after several officers showed up at her home to serve her with a restraining order. Her fiancé had been granted an abuse prevention order after an alleged incident where Fitzsimmons physically assaulted him the weekend before. Her defense says the new mother was just suffering from postpartum depression.
Why? No, stop. No, stop.
And had not meant to do anything bad except harm herself that day, not anybody else. Before we talk about it, here's Court TV anchor Judge Ashley Wilcott with more.
Kelsey Fitzsimmons, once a dedicated police officer in the Boston...
Please stop. When the rubber meets the road and she pulls a car over and the driver decides that they're going to take her gun, they're going to take her gun. There's no way she can be on patrol by herself. There has to be backup.
area is now accused of breaking the law in an alleged assault against a fellow cop.
All the Commonwealth has to do is ask the officers. There's 4 officers that were at the scene.
Officers were at the home of Fitzsimmons in
Also, why nobody won cameras?
June. They were serving her with a restraining order that included removing her baby after her fiance claimed she assaulted him and feared for his and their baby's safety. According to the prosecutors, while Fitzsimmons was gathering some of her son's things, Officer Noonan observed the defendant face him, lunge behind the door, and reappear, pointing a firearm directly at him. The defendant pulled the trigger and he heard a click, but no round fired. The officer at the scene then shot Fitzsimmons in the chest. Fitzsimmons was subsequently charged with assault with a dangerous weapon. Fitzsimmons claims she wasn't trying to hurt anyone but herself. She says she had been suffering from postpartum depression and in a statement said this: "My firearm was never pointed in any direction other than my temple. When I pulled the trigger, my gun did not fire. However, I immediately got shot in the chest." Meanwhile, Fitzsimmons is in custody, locked up while she awaits her trial. Her bond was revoked after allegedly failing to comply with alcohol testing. She says the injury to her chest made it too difficult to use a
If you have an injury to your chest, you think they're going to care? No, you're going to follow the court's orders.
breathalyzer. Her defense is appealing the decision to a higher court, and now, in front of a different judge, a plan.
She's in custody. So if the case is tried and she's found not guilty, that's the end of it. If the case is tried and she's found guilty, that's a whole other issue. But the fairest thing, it seems to me, is to try the case as promptly as we can.
Okay, so we'll continue to monitor this case. It's an interesting one. Joining us now is former director of the Department of Family and Children's Services in Georgia. Tom Rollins is still with us, along with Tommy Pope. Tom, we got 2 of you, Rollins. This is this postpartum is a real thing. We see it come up from time to time.
It is a real thing. She should be in no possession of a firearm.
Your work, how prevalent was it? How potentially devastating could it be? A mother that is suffering from this known ailment.
Well, thanks. And, you know, I feel some empathy for this young lady. In fact, the police went over there before because she was having a significant mental health issue that was apparently related to postpartum. In addition to that, you know, we know because she was put on the requirement to do the breathing for the alcohol test, that she apparently also had some significant alcohol or abuse issues. So I think what we're dealing with here is a young woman who has apparently obviously achieved a lot, became a police officer, graduated college, got engaged, had a baby, but for whatever reason, she apparently really has some significant mental health issues. And
mental health issues, no firearm.
To me, the questions are not only what happened that night when they went to serve the warrant for the restraining order, rather, but also, you know, what did the mental health officials in North Andover, in that area, do to help her when she was obviously having some significant mental health struggles?
Tommy, as far
They should have made sure that the PD went and took all the firearms away. I'm just throwing that out there for the 400th time.
as the defense goes, it's a pretty difficult story to get a jury to believe when it's your version of it, when you may or may not have, it sounds like, been under the influence of alcohol and you're depressed, against officers.
Mental health issues, postpartum, and under the influence of alcohol with a firearm. What could possibly go wrong? Well, this.
Officers who are eyewitnesses, that they say the gun was pointed and she clicked. She says it was pointed at herself and clicked.
What department in 2026 does not have body-worn cameras? They're hiding shit.
This is not going to look good for her, because they're going to believe the other officers who were sober, and there were more than one.
You know, and I think you've even got the relationship that she was with the party, you know, with the police department. So you got to say, why in the world would they ever want any bad will toward, you know, a fellow officer?
Why would they want bad will toward one of their own? Only bad will toward the pesky citizens. This right here is not winning. When she pulls a car over and they don't want to comply, she's not going out there by herself.
And I'm assuming there's going to be body cam video. I don't know. That'll answer the question. Normally, my answer on the suicide attempt is it's amazing how people are always successful killing others, but can't seem to pull it off.
It's a wonder she didn't go in court and say she was trying to do suicide by cop.
For themselves. With the gun clicking, that adds an additional element that probably gives her a little bit of a little bit of room in there, but.
I'm wondering if she knew the gun was not loaded. Because if she knew the gun was not loaded and pointed it at her head, that'd be one thing. But if she knew the gun was unloaded and pointed it at them, what would be the point?
You know, I guess, again, I don't do defense work, but I would argue that, the police are trying to cover up for the fact they shot her and shouldn't have. But, you know, what this really tells me, Ted, is I see it all the time.
But if you pulled a gun and pointed at your head, they'd shoot you and they'd be like, hey, they're following policy and procedures.
Can get too many parking tickets. Next thing they know, they've lost their license. Next thing they know, they're driving without a license. It's like this spiral. And so using this context, one thing begets another, you know, because the fact they're coming over there with the restraining order tells us things that happened. Obviously, you just talked about it. Tom talked about it previously. And so it's almost, you know, one piles on another and you look around. What's the thing when you get to the bottom, just quit digging? When you're digging yourself in a hole, and it just seems like she's gotten deeper and deeper.
Yeah. I mean, more believable defense would have been I tried to commit suicide by cop because I was a cop. I knew that an empty gun, but if I clicked it, they would shoot me. Well, that story sells. The other one, I don't know.
No, either. Stop. What is this doing? It's always going to be something.
Now,
if we could get this to stop, thank you. She doesn't need to be a cop, no. Narcissism in action. I'm at a loss for words. She sounds like a personality disorder to me. Is there no body cam video? Why is this a he said, she said? The body cam video should tell the whole story. The fact that there appears to be no body cam video during a restraining order serving call seems fishy on the surface of it. Yeah, but if you look at her uniform, they don't have body cameras. Criminals putting badges on criminals never stop. How is she supposed to give a long, steady breath to a breathalyzer if she has a chest wound? Why not a blood test? Because this is something that she keeps there. And because they're not going in every time. The easiest way to expose police corruption is to ask two different cops the same question and watch them both lie while accusing each other of lying. They are on average, or They are on average at or below average intelligence. Some detectives are smart, but most cops are not intelligent individuals, and they lie constantly. Not stable to be a cop. Get rid of her. Throw her in jail. Yes. Excuses, excuses. Typical cop. Anyway, that's where we're at with this one. Let me know what you think about it in the comments. Like, share, subscribe. Also, again, like, I don't know, 82% of people that watch these videos are not subscribed to the channel. Click the button, and we'll move along. Let me know what you think about this one, and I'm out.